I DM'd Adventure League Dungeons and Dragons last night, and I just wanted to tell you what I did. I did kind of a not really. I mean, sort of a homebrew. Like I wrote my own thing, but it was within the rules of uh, Adventure League because they like want you to use Spelljammer this season. So I did it. I set it in Spelljammer. So what I did was in the Spelljammer set, there's a map of the Rock of Brawl, which is a giant asteroid that's inhabited and it has an atmosphere and all that sort of stuff. And there are docks, and right by the docks, there's this little place called the Happy Beholder. And the Happy Beholder is a tavern. So I wanted to do a Liar's Night or a Halloween episode. Liar's Night came out. It's basically the Halloween of D&D. There was a supplement that came out for DMs. It was talking about different monsters, aberrations that you could use in your campaigns. So I thought this was really cool. So what I did was I set up this kind of battle royale inside the Happy Beholder, and the Happy Beholder is called that because it's owned by this big beholder dude. His name's Large Luigi. Here, let me get some of the materials. So, yeah, Large Luigi is he's really funny looking. I guess I should have set this up ahead of time. Oh well. Maybe I can edit this out. Oh, here he is. All right, so I printed out a picture of Large Luigi, and I did not make up that name. That's like canon. Uh, and I put it on my DM screen so these guys could look at him. And so here's Large Luigi, right? So the way I described Large Luigi, there's these two um, patrons of his establishment there, right? And Large Luigi is talking to them, and there's a lot of empty drinking vessels on their table. So I said, these two Karens were at the table. They got their check, and they were going to dispute whether or not they had 10 drinks each or 8 drinks each. And Large Luigi came over to convince them that if they didn't pay their tab, he would use one of his eyes to cast a paralyze ray on them. And so then the Karens relented and coughed up the money that they owed him. So, and I did Large Luigi like, I did a kind of a Jay Leno voice because he's so big. I did like yeah, it would be nice of you if you kind of paid your tab. And yeah, so the thing with Large Luigi is for Liar's Night every year, he hosts a contest. Who could tell the best story about the best boss fight they ever had, and if they win, then they get a prize. And here's the map of the Rock of Brawl, and here's where the Happy Beholder is near the docks, just so you guys can see that. And this map comes with the Spelljammer 3-book set, which I'm frugal, so I got from the public library. But anyway, it also comes with a DM screen, which is pretty cool. So if you do buy it, you get 3 books and you get the DM screen. Yeah, I guess I'll put a link to make it easier, because if you guys buy anything in the description, like with the links, I get an affiliate commission, so that'd be super awesome. Anyway, that helps me a lot, and smashing like helps me, and of course subscriptions are always wanted. So so Large Luigi basically challenges these the intrepid adventurers to fight or tell us about their boss fights. So I had them fight, let's see, the Gauge, because that was kind of like this intelligent insecty-like creature with these big nasty teeth. It has the mandibles. We had a lot of Monty Python references in our group. So there's the Gauge, and you can see the challenge rating in that right there. You can see the stat box there, but you can find that anywhere online. So Yeah, so we had Jacob Blackthorne. He was a rogue uh, swashbuckler and really good actor. Andy, he was really into the character. Everybody was doing some good play acting at the table. One of the guests, her name was Ruth, and she played like a rabbit, an intelligent rabbit creature. And then we had a latecomer named Rachel, and she was a fighter. She was a dwarf fighter, I believe. We had a tiefling wild magic sorcerer. And we didn't get too many weird wild magic things, except at one point Julian was the player's name. The actual humans, like the actual man, like player's name. And his beard turned into like a feather beard or something like that. And then we had a hill dwarf or mountain dwarf barbarian, and that was played by Jackson, C.K. Jackson. His name was Domino something the second, and if you didn't say the second, he would kill you. Like that was his tagline. And if you will bring me a hot chocolate, or you will die. And then like everything was or you will die. And if you don't say the second, you will die. And I thought that was clever. So anyway, they fought the Gauge, and they did pretty well against the Gauge. And then that took about an hour, and they were really getting into like, I don't know. I didn't want them to get bogged down in the combat, so I was going to do 3 encounters, and then they go back to and by the way, in between them telling their story between the boss fights, we did like a Wayne's World kind of so we incorporated that into it, which I thought was, which a couple people found the reference funny. And then so the second fight was against this, which is an ancient solar dragon, which has like 427 hit points, something ridiculous like that. So obviously they were going to have difficulty with this. What I was trying to do was I was trying to get the characters to use all of their abilities and explore the maximum damage that their characters could do, which wasn't much against something like this. Because they were tier 2, and I had run a scenario about a month ago where I didn't have a boss fight, and I was called out on it. So I wanted to have boss fights. So I had 2. I really wanted to have 3, but we just didn't have enough time. Just getting bogged down in the solar dragon fight. Like the solar dragon cast its sunburst, or what was it? It's a blinding brilliance action, and it blinded a few of them, and that caused some havoc. And there are 5 people at the table, so you can imagine if you're running like a 6 or 7 person group, how you have like 4 or 5 rounds of combat, how slow that gets. So by the end, the barbarian had chopped off the tip of the solar dragon's tail, and also the rabbit, who is an artificer alchemist, cast a poison ray or something like ray of sickness onto the dragon, and the dragon took a lot of damage from that, and it was poisoned, and finally it did what an intelligent creature would do. It'd say like, wow, you guys are just, this is crazy. In fact, somebody cast fireball. Oh, the tiefling cast fireball. So it was like, okay, he's like, okay, you know what? This isn't worth my time. And he split. So, but in the frame of the story, they go back to the tavern where they're telling Large Luigi the story, right? For the contest. Because whoever wins the contest wins a prize, whoever tells the best story. And they plop the dragon tail onto the bar, so they prove that like they actually had this encounter with a solar dragon. And here's the interesting thing: they didn't kill the solar dragon, right? They didn't, but they didn't have to. Not every encounter has to be a murder, right? So they had an encounter with a silver dragon, a solar dragon. And what I was equating it to is like, you tell the story about the time you saw a bear in the woods. You didn't kill the bear. You saw a bear and you lived, right? And that's the story. And that's enough of a story sometimes, right? So I just, especially if it's something really formidable like that, like this thing. Well, I lost the page, but you know what I'm saying. So what I'm thinking is, so anyway, they go back to the tavern just to finish the narrative, and large Luigi is there, and he's very impressed, and he's like, oh, adventure is very, very, very interesting, and I believe that you're like exactly the type of people that can help me because the way I set it up, the room was full of people in costumes and under illusion spells that looked, so nobody appeared exactly as they were, and so at one point, large Luigi's eyes, he's looking around the room and he's kind of like, oh my gosh, there's something going on here. And he's like, can you help me? Can you help me with this? So a large candy corn monster, what had looked like a pile of candy corn as a decoration in the corner, gets up. And the way I portrayed it, it was like a stained glass window. It's only one candy corn in width, but it's very broad and it has two candy corn teeth. And at one point, it gets to bite one of the characters, and she takes poison damage from too much blood sugar, right? Too much sugar shock. And I thought that was neat. I didn't make up that character. That was made up by someone named Ma'at. It's in the credentials that were given to the DMs, eventually DMs for Liar's Night. And I thought that was really cool. I also, there was a werebat witch, which I did not use, but there was a were scarecrow, jack-o'-lantern, basically. And what that was, somebody at the bar, like, their head started transforming into a jack-o'-lantern. They emitted light out of and there was this, and they had these arms that were like thorny vines. So he could attack with his vines, he could bite, but he had this pumpkin spice smell. And so people had to roll a resistance against being charmed by the smell. So that was a clever dynamic as well, I thought. And then the final, the other character was a giant were black cat. And the were black cat has a thing that didn't really trip, but I told the characters anyway. And it was like a dexterity saving throw against its cute purring. And I'm guessing it was a dexterity saving throw because you have to stop yourself from reaching out and petting it as it's purring. I don't know. That's the way I interpreted it. So anyway, I thought those were interesting mechanics. So they defeat them all and they won a brooch of shielding, which I thought was a decent. That's actually one of the official rewards that can be given during, I think it's the third official Adventure League module for Spelljammer. So I gave that one out to them. All kinds of stuff we can talk about. If you want to talk about any of this stuff in the comments below, put it in there and I can talk to you about it. I had a lot of fun running this. I think I want to write it as a module and put it on D&D Beyond. So remember, this is the 27th of October, 2023. If that pops up there and I see it, I'll know you stole my idea. But yeah, but I do want to do it. And I've never written a module for Wizards of the Coast, but I understand you relinquish all your rights to it if you do that. You do get, I think, 50-50. They split the revenue with you. I just want to do it to get the publishing credit, really. I mean, the money would be great, but I don't foresee anybody paying a ton of money for that. Anyway, yeah, so if anybody out there has written a module for, for Wizards of the Coast for Adventure League, let me know, and I could use the help. And yeah, that's all I got. I think I'm going to stop the video there. So have a great day and happy adventuring. And may the force be with you. Yeah, if you like, there's a link to this lightsaber down in the comments. You buy this lightsaber, they'll give me 20%. It doesn't cost you anything more. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care.